Hello and welcome back to this week's Council of Weight podcast with me, your host Tong, and with me my co-hosts Neil and Ham. Say hello.
Hello.
Ham, are
I
you there?
totally froze up.
Hi.
Oh my god, you
I totally
froze.
froze up right there.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Oh no! It was
All
going
right,
so.
no. He's back. It's fine. We keep.
It's
moving.
fine.
We
He's
keep
back,
moving.
he's back.
But then
Oh,
on
usually I'm the one with the best connection.
yeah, usually. All right.
Usually,
my-
yeah.
but
My
on
my
this-
my connection is
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So on
No,
this
no
week's,
worries.
yeah, on this week's episode, we do have a special guest, and as you can see, the lovely Mai.
hello, guys.
Clap, boys! Clap!
Yay!
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much for having me,
No,
y'all.
thank you for coming on our podcast.
Yay.
All right.
We have a soundboard for like
Aw,
clapping.
Thank you.
I do have a soundboard for clapping. Thank you very much. But I just can't find it right now. Oh, here we go. Can you hear it?
Nope, we can't hear it.
No.
It's fine.
Is this-
It's fine.
Is this one
Fine.
supposed to
Fine.
be on our Facebook
Yeah.
page
Oh
as
no,
well?
here we go. Here we go.
It's kind of
Yeah.
cutting a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay.
Me?
It's all right. We got it. No.
No, the clapping
The
sound.
clapping. The
Ah.
sound effect. The sound effect. Don't worry, Ham. It's not about you. Now it's okay. You're fine. Your webcam and your voice is fine. That's all we need to do.
Okay.
All right. So Mai, people don't know about you. Can you tell a little bit about us? About you to our fan, us. You know, about yourself. A little bit about yourself.
Oh. Sure. So I'm Mai. Some people call me Mariella. Some people call me Teacher Mariella.
Oh.
But I'm Mai. Yeah, and so right now I am I just launched a page called the Accent Police. So it's basically a page where I'm helping people to pronounce things correctly in different accents. Yeah, so it's fun. It's just starting, but it's going really well. So if y'all are interested in accent, any kind of accent and funny stuff, you know, I post daily videos on both Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. So check it out, the Accent Police.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yes.
So yeah, on this week's topic, we'll be discussing a lot about voice acting and singing, and of course anything related to do with Mai's topic. So of course let's just
Thank
get
you.
right. Yeah. All right. And as I said, where is it? Why can't I find it? Okay, here we go. Let's just get right into our podcast.
Yay!
So our first topic, let's talk about voice acting in general, and in terms of just your accent. So you kind of have to develop that early on, right, Mai? Kind of that thing, or
Actually, well, that's true. But the thing is that when I was younger, I did not have good pronunciation at all. So I was stutter throughout my my early year. So it was hard for me to communicate like both in Thai and English, you know. So I did have speech problems growing up. And I think that is what got me here, kind of. It's where, where you want to overcome your own challenges in some ways, that you just need to like compensate it with something else. First I was just basically so my mother tongue is Thai, so I'm just trying to speak Thai like normal people at the time. And then I was like, okay, so I went to like an international school, went to a British school, and okay, now I gotta have a good English, and it was hard enough for me to speak Thai, and to do two languages it's even harder. And then I challenged myself since I was in year 5 to do like with my third language, which was Chinese, which was Mandarin. So it was hard for me at first, but then I practice a lot. I listen to lots of recordings, and I try to like mimic people and stuff like that. And like we grew up together, but y'all never knew that I could speak this many
Yes.
languages.
Yeah.
It's just
I just
because
found
like
out today.
I've been
Yeah.
practicing it by myself, because when I was at Harrow, my English sucks. I was in like set 5 or something. You know,
I
it
mean,
was like
our
I
English
did
one,
not
yeah,
have.
not great.
Yeah, right. So we were, I mean, like, so my, in terms of language itself, I was never good at it, but it was kind of something that I lacked at the time. So I felt that I needed to do something more, you know? And then when I got a little bit older, like from like middle school to high school, I started wanting to I discovered my, you know, like hidden talent or whatever. So I wanted to do opera, and I realized that opera requires language skills. So I needed to learn Italian. So I went to Italy to, like, you know, I got to do this. I have to speak Italian. And I was you know, I struggled at first, but then it kind of like everything um fell into place, and I felt, you know, I felt comfortable with the language enough that I can speak it. And I moved to Boston for my undergrad, and I took French, and I love French. It's like it's just a language that fits my mouth nicely, and I thought it's just something that I love learning. It's such a beautiful language. So, you know, from Italian goes to French, and then, you know, and then that's like my fifth language, and then my sixth one is Laotian, which is like, because my mom is from Khon Kaen, so it's like already like Isan. So I grew up listening
Yeah.
to her speaking, but I never really like tried. But like, you hear it enough that if you try, you know, like since you were like an infant and you keep hearing you know, your mom talking to grandma all the time, and you know, the moment that you started like, okay, fine, I'll learn this, you know, and it's easy just to pick up like that. So yeah, that got me to like speaking 6 languages.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, that's like
Like-
a journey you have there, like literally. A big,
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster right there.
I
So
think
what-
I think it's like
No, you go.
sorry, I think it's just very fascinating because the people that I know around me who've developed like all these accents, like I think the biggest example is Yutong. I think that from what I've seen, like a lot of people develop the accents from the environment that they grow
Yeah.
up with. So understandably, like
Mm.
people who grow up with Thai people would have relatively Thai-ish accents, you know.
Okay
But then,
lah, where we going to
Okay.
there, huh? วันนี้
Yeah, yeah,
เคลียร์
but
where we
then-
going lah? You know that.
but then if you go abroad, then
And I
you would
remember
kinda,
when we were kids,
Yeah.
all of us, like, I mean, I don't know much about Ham, but us three, we didn't develop this kind of accent at all.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Right?
totally not. Yeah.
And I think like,
Like-
it changed when you moved to the UK, and
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
too. Like, your accent is
Yeah.
like
But-
really.
From what you were saying, I
Awesome.
find it very fascinating that instead of you just kind of like being, you know, staying into that environment and letting that nurture you, you instead became very proactive, and you were like, you know what, I want to change. I want to kind of like fix these things. So I'm just wondering, like,
Yeah.
what are some of the most common like things that people don't really realize that they're pronouncing wrong in accents that really bothered you in your like everyday that you found that like people should really fix?
So a lot of it, well, you know, we develop an accent from our mother tongue.
Yeah.
Like, it's the matter of like what is your first language, right? And that's where like your accent starts. You know, if you were born Thai, then you would develop a Thai accent. It's because our Thai placement lies very forward. And then we have Thai is a tonal language, so we have like 5 mama mama, right? So it's easy for us to like inflect up and down, like, you know, talking Starbucks, those stuff, you know, it goes up and down.
Oh God,
It's because like our language itself is so up and down. And that's something that you have to watch out if you're, you know, if you're Thai listeners, then yes, you would watch out for that. But if you're Americans trying to learn an Asian language and it's different, then they don't have that tonal ability.
yeah.
They can't hear it. If they say mama, 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 what they hear is mama, 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 right?
Mama,
Yeah.
So it, yeah, they cannot hear it. That's the thing. So it's like, it's a two. I wouldn't say like, oh, some people say like, oh, Thai is the best language because we're so tonal that we can learn any languages. It's easy, but no, like for a Thai person to speak like Romance languages or English, it's hard because our language is so tonal that
Yeah.
it obscure the the speech that native speakers wouldn't understand.
Mm.
So I would say, in terms of accent reduction, so what I teach is that you gotta start with understanding your first language first. Like, what is the characteristic of my first language, and what are the characteristics of the language that I'm learning, and how do I move away from my mother tongue to another language?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely the matter of, like, you can't say that one person, it's not like something like one size fit all. It's not like
Yeah.
that. But like, you have to know, like, what your strengths are and what you can do in terms of, like, adapting into another language.
Mm. That's pretty fascinating.
Any
I just think that, like, because I did a bit of Chinese like a few years ago, and what I never realized is that tone, like all this tonal changes are like actually very integral to some languages. And what I found is that when we were all studying Chinese, like everyone was all like from all over the world, and the people who struggled the most
Mhm.
were people who were like learning like languages, like for instance, like people who can only speak English, because they never understood
Yeah.
the foundation of what it takes to grasp like a completely different language. They would like speak everything in a monotone, which like
Yes,
especially you
true.
understand in China, like if you do that, it just like you can say something and it will kind of mean something completely different.
Mm.
For
And
sure.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
similar to Thai, right?
yeah, very similar. And
Yeah,
I think
that's why
it's
I think for
because
Thai speakers, yeah. No. Go ahead.
I think it's because people when they speak English, oh sorry, how should I say this? Like people who speak English, they never get punished for saying the wrong tones.
Yeah, that's
Like
right.
like people still understood what they mean. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it's also
yeah.
very interesting when you think about it in the other side, when you were mentioning how people were saying like English words in Thai, and how saying like Starbucks. And I think the biggest example I have is like bacon, London, and then like if you say it in England, people wouldn't understand what you're saying. But I think it's because in
They don't want to
Thailand
talk to you.
they're
Yeah.
like, what the hell are you talking about? Like they can kind of see, but they're like, it's just quite uncomfortable to speak with. And I think it's because, especially in Thailand, you don't face any embarrassment or punishment. That's just how we speak.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think it's very interesting that you found this to be it'll be something that everyone should be aware of, because not only it will improve like your pronunciation, but it will also make people understand you a lot better as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
so my
fascinating.
teaching philosophy is never to sound like someone,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah?
Oh, Ham. Yeah, Ham. Go.
I have a
I thought you had a
question.
question. Yeah.
I'm actually quite curious because there's something that happens to myself a lot. But when I talk to my friends who are more like Thai, and when I talk to friends who from the UK, from elsewhere, like my accents are
Mhm.
quite different. Is this my psychological problem, or is it something to do with like being in the environment in real time,
it's
and then
it
it's just like it's so hard for
you
me
mean
because
you mean
I
your
like
accent shift when
yeah,
you're speaking to, like, certain people. Yeah,
like
that's
most of the
really
time.
normal. You know why? It's
My
because
why?
But it's because, like, us as human being, we are we are like a copy machine. No, this is like science, like if you yawn, the other person will just yawn too. It's because, like, we copy. Like, I touch my face, and then someone will touch their face soon. It's like we are like like a like a copy machine. Like, we just want to copy each other. So because we want to adapt. That's why we don't face extinction. You want to touch your face too, right? That's why. Yeah, Tong, you just touched your face. So
it's so
yes,
tempting.
because we are so adaptable. And that's why we don't face extinction. It's because like we will just follow what others do. all the time. So you know, when you want to adapt to that person, like, you know, you talk to an American person, then all of a sudden, like, why did Emma Watson now have like a slight American accent? Is because she studied at Brown and she wants to fit in America, right? So
Yeah.
she
Mhm.
gradually developed that accent. Is because not that she want to, but that it's like it's her psychology that needs her to adapt to that certain environment. So it's not it's that's why like y'all are like speaking like good British accent, and I just have the urge to like copy y'all too. But you know, I know that it's not my accent, but then it's just like it's the matter of like, you know, adjusting into people. So that's normal. Don't think that you're
Yeah.
weird.
We're just
Yeah,
burdened.
I do that too.
Yeah, we're just burdened with glorious purposes, don't we, Ham?
I was gonna say like I think that if you weren't here, my accent would not be this thick, because when the first time I heard your voice today, I was like, okay, I can't just be like, hi, I'm Mark, how are you doing? You know, I have to kind of like
You gotta articulate
mimic
those
yeah, I have to articulate a
words.
bit as well, yeah. And yeah, I think Ham, I think that's very normal as well. Like I do that quite a lot too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
It
thing
depends
is,
on the
I
people
like,
we're with.
for me, like Thai friends are actually minority. Like
Yeah.
70%. I'm always with like people from elsewhere. But the thing is, it's like it's not like I have friends from like Nigeria and everyone, all sorts of like accents. But I don't really lean on to any of them. Just like when I get back to like my Thai friend, it just switch back to be a bit more lazy in the sense
Yeah.
like you know
Do
as in,
you
like it's
speak with this kind of articulation more like this?
no, I actually
More
don't have like
talking very naturally like this, or Thai
I don't
accent?
I don't actually have a Thai accent because my house is actually a very
Yeah.
whitewashed like household. Like my sister's like from
Yeah,
SF.
yeah.
My dad spends his whole life like in the States. My aunt is she's from France. So we have like a whole mix of like accents, and I kind of feel like okay, shit, I lost the point.
I think I
Um,
understand what you mean
You're
though.
talking when you're with the Thai people, your accent changes. I
Yeah.
just want to know like
Yeah.
which like in what way it changes to.
more mumbling, more lazy,
I think
like
it's I
like
think
bad
it's in terms
pronunciation.
of, I think it's in terms of like you have the same wavelength, so you have to talk to the same people. Because it's like if you go a bit too thick with a group of people who are not used to that kind of like level of thickness, you can't
Yes.
really communicate well enough, because it feels like you're going way over the top compared to everyone else. Yeah,
Mhm.
I do face this problem as well sometimes. Like it's like I have to tone down, because I remembered I was talking to some of my parents' friends in Japan, and then they were like, "Oh, so what you
Yeah.
studied?" And I was like, "Oh, I studied this," and I was speaking in a British accent, and then the parent turned around to my mom and said, "I don't understand." Yeah, and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh, I
So
speaking so clearly," but
so
then like,
you have to talk like this. You have to be more
no,
Japanese.
I have to tone down to be like
Yeah.
just saying
Oh,
basic
you're
words
actually
and
pretty
like,
good. You're
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
But yeah, I think it's something that we never really think about, because it's such a subconscious human thing that we do, and it's like
Yeah,
thing we accumulate every day, like our behavior. That it'll be interesting to see that like now that we talk about this, like the next day, like I'll be very interested to see how I talk to other people now. Like I'll be trying to be like actually be like, oh, like what kind of pitch do I speak to my parents? And what kind of pitch do I speak to my girlfriend? You know, it'd be very fascinating to see.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. That's why you know, that's why teachers because we just tend to absorb people's energy, right? So that's why teachers in front of the room needs to be like upbeat and kind of like always like, oh hey, hi class, always
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. It's because otherwise if you come to a room and then your teacher's like, okay, open page 2, do this, do that, everyone is bored and tired, right? So when you have a person that is like leading you, that is excited, like everyone get excited with you. So I guess like because you go to like Thai friends, they're not gonna be like, hello guys, they're not American, So that's why you kind of like adapt to that, like I'm always like the strange one because I have so much energy. But then when I go to like a bunch of friends who are not as energized, I do need to tone it down because otherwise like I'll be like the weirdest one. So
Yeah.
it's natural to just kind of like, yeah, just like what News has said. It's so
Yeah.
normal. Yeah.
We have this problem though.
Yeah.
Every time we go into a new country, is that it's hard for us to understand that type of a accent, right? In terms of when I was there, I first came to the UK, and it was very hard to listen to Welsh or Scottish accent.
Oh god.
Yeah, so yeah, it takes time for you to
Yeah,
understand.
Irish
like,
is
later on.
hard.
Yeah, Irish, like,
Yeah.
oh, potato, you know, something like.
Oh my god, our road trip. We went to Scotland, and from hearing Scottish accents on TV, it wasn't so bad. But then the first time we actually took that road trip to Scotland 2 years ago, we were paying for gas, and then I was paying it at the counter, and then she was asking me if I wanted the receipt, and I just can't, like, at all. It was just so hard to understand.
Oh,
and
yeah?
yeah.
Just couldn't understand. Yeah. You're just not used to it. Me
Yeah.
neither. I think I'm not that used to that like certain part
Yeah.
of the English accent yet, which is something that I would need to explore. You know, if I
Mhm.
want to be like an accent instructor,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
need to like explore real like different kinds. Yeah, that's just
So
some.
yeah.
I think it's so cool. It's so fascinating, and partly it's because my master's was in teaching singing, like teaching voice.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of like voice and speech class, and then I thought that the way I taught speech is very similar to singing. You know, like with tones and with like the articulation and stuff like that. It's so similar to teaching singing. You know, how do you develop a voice? You know, this is your vocal cords. They're the same chord that you use for singing. So, you know, because of COVID too, that got me to start this business, is because I can't like have an online singing lesson. It doesn't work. You know, Zoom wouldn't,
Yeah.
or, you know, any type of lessons wouldn't allow me to like do the lesson, because once I get to like a certain pitch, like the video recording would just cut
Right.
me off because it's too high, or yeah, it's just like the frequency that apparently like video calls wouldn't work for singing lesson. So, you know, like I need to like live. So I was like, you know, what
Have
else
an idea.
can I do? And then I started thinking like
Have
yeah,
an
like
idea
so
for
I
it.
was like, you
Sorry.
know, teaching speech is what was Ham's idea?
I'm sorry. I'm always in this startup mentality of like, hey, that's like a
Yeah,
pain
that's-
point. That's
yeah,
a
that-
problem
that's-
right there.
Yeah, that's a gap in the market right there. You know, you can't teach online singing, so there's a kind of an idea of a startup business.
Yeah, if you can do something with that, please do. Like seriously, like I'm still a voice teacher, so I still have you know, students that I like truly know that they are always at home, like quarantine at home. So they would come to still like take my singing lessons, but I don't accept any more new students into my studio. It's because like I don't know, you know, it's not safe for them. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And like
Yeah.
and it's not safe for anyone. So I think that learning singing online is just too much of a hassle. That's why I feel like you know, speech is another thing that is similar to voice. So that's something that I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys sing?
Badly.
In the shower, yes.
Yeah, in
In
the
the
shower,
showers,
of course
yeah.
we do. You know, in the shower, sing whatever. But I do have a game called SingStar. Have you heard of that, Mai?
No. What is it?
Oh, here, hold on. I'll grab it for you so that you can see this or what it looks like. Yeah,
SingStar. I think I've heard of it. Hold on.
it's called SingStar
Oh.
Celebration.
Wow. It's
Oh.
like on PS4.
Yeah, on the PlayStation. So there's a list of songs, but the amount of selected songs are limited because of licensing, right? Copyright music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you can sing
Yeah,
along, and then
makes
you
it
use
Is
your
it karaoke?
yeah, kind of karaoke. So there's like, you know, the music video, and you have to follow through like the little lines, and you just, depending how well you sing, the more points you get.
Yeah.
So you use your phone as a microphone pretty much, and it recognizes from your voice from there.
Yeah.
Was there any similar type
Yeah,
of
Ham.
games?
I truly similar type of games.
Yeah.
No,
that you played
I
that-
don't know any games. I've played Just Dance though.
Yes.
I think that's fun.
Yes.
Into the Just
Just
Dance
Dance is
crew.
pretty good. Well, I am the worst dancer. Trust me, I am the
Oh,
worst
no, you
dancer.
don't wanna- you
but
don't wanna
I
see
still
me.
try. You know, it's
I'm
about
so
it's all
bad
about
as
the effort,
well.
right?
Yeah.
It's about the effort.
Yeah, it's all about effort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so like I'm always like so like yeah, just really like yeah, like so bad at dancing. How
Well,
about him? I have never seen you dance before.
Oh.
I'm actually a dancer more than a singer.
You're not.
But
Wait.
Yes,
I
you
think I've
dance. You
seen
do.
you
Yeah.
dance
yeah,
on
yeah.
He does.
on the thing with like the ballroom dance thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
actually, I love like Sinatra, like jazz in 1930s, roaring 20s, stuff like that. So I essentially went back and
Yeah.
did like swing dance, which is like I actually want to do ballroom dancing, but then it's more used for competitive. And like for example, like one of our friends does competitive ballroom dancing, and she barely gets to dance anymore because like it's hard to find a partner and stuff. So I chose to go to swing instead because it's used to dance like in a social kind of like places, and then you can just dance with anyone depending on like on the place, and you get like live jazz everywhere. And that's why I kind of like started dancing, and so swing dance is kind of like my way of like getting around the world. I would just cook and do like steps and dance. But I also do love to sing Sinatra from time to time as well. So
Oh wow.
Fly
you
me
sing for
to
us?
the moon. Right now.
yeah, I'm a sucker for
Yeah?
Sinatra. So, yep.
You want to sing for us now?
Oh, I don't think that's a good idea.
He needs to be in that element,
Oh,
in that zone.
like pressure's on. Like we have like
I'll
such an
join
amazing
you.
opera singer.
Oh no.
Fly
Yeah.
me
I
to
miss
the
singing for
moon.
real. I miss like real
Let
singing.
me
The thing is that the theater industry right now is like the scene is so bad. It's because like everything is closed and all the live event is down. You know, I used to
Yeah.
like go to live concerts a lot, and I used to perform live and on stage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What-
before I came
what do
back
you-
to Thailand, I did the Sound of Music actually. Maybe you guys didn't know.
Sound of
I was
Oh,
music.
performing the Sound of
really?
Music.
Well, actually, when we did that one
Yeah.
photo shoot
Yeah,
a
in
year ago,
America.
I think we did that one photo
Yeah,
shoot
I
for,
think I mentioned it.
you kind of mentioned it, and like, oh yeah,
Yeah. So that time, I just literally just came back from Boston.
Yeah.
I was doing a show for a long time. It was so much fun, but a little bit tiring. But after that show, then everything got canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to get to do the show before I moved back. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that opportunity anymore. Yeah.
have
Be
you ever
excited.
performed
Go.
Carmen?
Yeah. What's that?
Have you ever performed Carmen?
Carmen? Yeah, I've performed in concert, not the whole show. The whole show is pretty long.
Like I that's
The
the
whole
only
opera is really long. You like it?
I actually like it, but I haven't had a chance to like see it much. I had one chance in London, but I didn't make it. So like wondering if it's something that you did before.
Aw, it's such a beautiful show. It's not too long. Yeah.
French, isn't it?
Beautiful music. Beautiful
Yeah.
music. Yes, Bizet, French.
Yeah.
Wow.
George Bizet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, George Bizet. Oh, fancy.
Fancy
You know your
pants.
thing. You know your thing.
Not that
Yes.
much. Just like what London has to offer, pretty much.
Yeah, London. Well, there's just so much opportunities, like in Europe and London to see good shows and see good live performance. I bet like after COVID it's gonna be big again, but it takes time to adjust.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
It's taken like a very bad hit because I think like it's one of those industries that they can't really do anything. Like there's always been substitutes for like other companies in the industry, like working from home or like for the movie industry, like they've like kind of like start streaming stuff instead of watching theaters. But you can't watch musicals from like your TV. Like it's not the same experience.
Yeah, doesn't
Yeah.
work. It's like
Yeah.
the experience is gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Like then what's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
point? But yeah.
Right.
Um,
Tom, how's the situation in London?
It's getting better,
In
but
term-
in terms of COVID, it's getting better, of course. Like I got my first dose of vaccination yesterday.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, the cool
Wow, good for you.
kids, the cool kids vaccinated club.
Yeah, you got Moderna or
Oh,
Pfizer?
Pfizer.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So I mean, everyone's getting like vaccination now.
For
and then,
us,
yeah, for you guys.
when are we getting vaccinated? Are you guys vaccinated?
I got one. I got Astra last week.
You got Astra?
Yeah.
You? No, not yet.
Waiting.
Me neither.
No.
My dad's like, yeah, maybe wait a bit longer.
Yeah, I just want Moderna at
Yeah, I want Moderna as well.
something.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably the better one right now. Yeah.
Thing is, I work in health tech and med tech, and then I hear all these stories about different vaccines. So it's like
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I mean,
For us, I don't think it's gonna matter because we're still young,
well,
yeah.
But
If you're
if
high
you can
risk-
wait and if you don't work,
if
like,
you're high risk,
really work outside, yeah.
if you're a
Yeah.
like
Well, I'm
caretaker.
definitely not high risk. I'm always at home. Yeah, I'm always at home. I'm tired of being home, honestly. All I do is just go out to like for grocery shopping.
Mm.
It's pretty annoying.
That's pretty much my life.
Yeah. Oh, but I did get my hair done yesterday, so
Oh my
that was
god.
nice.
That's good. That's
A
good.
small clap for your hair.
I haven't cut my hair since
No, but it was like a
January, I
private
think.
session.
Ah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I just realized since I cut
So
my
some of
hair-
the salon they're open, but you need like private session.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not safe to go like
Mm.
with other people. Yeah.
Like yeah, like I
Yeah,
think did I interview
well-
you when I had long hair?
We all
yeah,
had long
yeah,
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed you when I had long hair. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
and
pretty long.
and I was like, looking back now, I was like, okay, I look way better in short hair. Like,
Yeah.
screw the long hair. Like, never again. It made my hair
Yeah.
look very thin, and it's just like very.
It's-
Why? You don't want long hair anymore? I think you looked pretty like hip. It was
like,
hip.
Like
It was
I've went to look back at the pictures I have at long hair. Now I can understand why it was like not a good idea.
You know what I was waiting for? I was waiting for a man bun, but it never came around.
Yeah, it's not.
So-
it can't
Yeah.
go that much though. Like that it doesn't have that much. Like,
Wait, Mew,
volume.
are you doing the hair, the man bun? Are you
No,
waiting
no,
for
no.
that?
No. It's just
Oh,
my
Korean boy-
quarantine
the
hair,
Korean
so it's
boy.
like really long.
Korean-
Korean boy.
I'm saving it
Oh.
before I'm going abroad to cut it. But wait, so Tong, I was gonna mention, like, I think it's definitely okay to have long hair as long as you style it. Like, if you just let it grow,
Mm.
Yeah.
it's just gonna be like completely out of shape, Like,
Mm.
because like you didn't cut your hair in the first place for it to be long.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be growing. So of
Yeah,
course it's
yeah.
not gonna be like that. But yeah, like so my hair's just ridiculously long, and my way of circumventing that is that I have this beautiful thing,
Oh,
which I've been using it religiously, like every time. But yeah,
I don't know how you do it, like
Mm.
at all.
Yeah.
Like
It looks
Live
good
at-
though.
it
like
does
long,
its job.
like you live with long hair, but it gets everywhere. No.
yeah.
It's like that's like because when I went to Shanghai, I tried to grow up my hair at that time, and the reason why
Yeah.
I cut it was because normally I don't use this. I kind of tie my hair like in like a bun of some sort. But if I forget my headband of some sort, like I'll be working and then it'll just be like this. Like I'll be working, I have to do like this like every single time, and it's so annoying.
Mm.
And not to mention, wait, why are we talking about my hair all of a sudden?
Long hair.
Yeah.
As you know,
Yeah, it's just
Whatever
annoying
works.
sometimes, but I think I found a solution to this, so it's okay.
Right. Okay. back to the accent
Yeah.
thing, back to the voice, back to the speech.
Back
Um,
to the voice and accent. Yeah, well, so just some final thoughts. So if anyone who's listening and wanting to learn a new accent or get a more, so the accent that I'm teaching is just, is either Gen M, which is General American, or RP, which is received accent pronunciation, British accent. So it's just basically what it means is that General American, America is such a big country, and then you have different kind of like regional accent stuff. But Gen M is like the CNN reporter accent, where when you talk, you don't know where you're from, So
Mm.
so that's the accent that I'm teaching, and it's not just like copying me or anything. So I teach based on theory and using like international phonetic alphabets, like with we're going to do theory for the first half and then do some real speaking and how to apply those theories into like the second half of the lesson. Likewise, if anyone wants to learn British accent, which I haven't showcased today, but you can check those videos out on my TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. It's called The Accent Police. So, that's me right there doing funny, crazy things, but I'm actually not that funny in
No,
real
you
life.
are.
I'm still
You
a
are.
teacher.
Come on.
It's pretty entertaining. So the British
Yeah,
the
so-
British one that you did today, it was like it wasn't just teaching how you're saying it. It's like you have to have that look.
And that bow tie,
Like what?
the bow tie, the
Yeah, and then the hat as well. And I was like, wow.
But it's so true, right?
It's so
Like
true.
British people, they always do that. They always give me that sort of look, like sort of.
Oh,
Always,
yeah,
like,
yes,
like
today
that,
let's,
always.
Over.
let's smoke some
So
cigars and go to the
I
pub. Like, oh yes.
yeah,
oh.
like that,
Yeah, like,
literally. And
oh,
they have
yes.
this confused look all the time. I'm like, why are you confused? Like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, before we go,
So yes,
did
be
you
sure
enjoy-
to check those out. And thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure, and like, it's so good to see y'all again. I feel like I really need to talk to like real like people, you know what I mean? like because well, I do talk to real people too, but it's like with like real friends, and it's so good to like have like this like mini reunion. It's kind of like going
Mhm.
back in time.
Yeah.
And I do miss Harrow Times a lot, y'all. And I hope to see you soon at New's wedding.
Oh my
So,
God. Whew.
so I hope to. Just kidding. So I hope to see everyone soon, as whenever COVID gets better. And Tong, you gotta come back to Thailand, okay?
Yeah, that's
And
the thing,
hit me
right?
up.
Everyone,
Y'all
wants-
hit me
like,
up.
literally asking me that question, like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? I'm like, I can't tell you, at the moment. Hopefully,
We all just miss you.
I know, but I
Yeah,
am.
well,
Hopefully, I am.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need to, sort myself out as well, and like,
Yeah.
I'll come
Yeah,
back
the
as a
last
new
time I
man.
saw you was at Sun's wedding.
Yes,
too,
it was.
Tong.
And it was the
Yeah.
bigger me,
Long time.
the bigger me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you look great. I haven't complimented you, but you're doing so great. I don't know how you do it,
Thank you.
right? So great.
Thank
It's
you.
such a pleasure, guys. And yes, so have a for those outside Thailand, have a good day, and for those in Thailand, have a good night.
Yes.
Love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much, Mai, for
Thank you
All right,
so much
shall
for
we
coming
close?
on.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
Thank
shall.
Tong, you can do
you.
the
All right,
close.
I'll do
Thank
the
you,
closing
guys.
statement then. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
thank you very much for listening to this week's Council Way podcast special episode with our special guest, Mai, or Crew Mai. Let's just do the Thai way.
Krumai.
Crew Mai.
Crew Mai.
Yeah. All right, and yeah,
Krumai.
as of course, me, your host Tong, and my two co-hosts New and Ham, and our special guest Mai had to say, farewell, my lady. Farewell, my heart.
Farewell, my lady.
Yeah,
Bye.
farewell, my
Farewell.
lady. And we'll see you on our next episode of our Council Way podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.